Hello and welcome to the Vinyl Sanctuary. My name is Christian and I hope that you will join me in taking refuge in records. So I'm here with you today with part one of what will be a four-part series where I'm going to be showing you all of my greatest hits, best ofs, singles collections, B-sides and rarities albums, you name it, that I currently have in my vinyl collection. Every single one of them. So the reason why I'm doing it over four parts is because I have a lot of those types of compilations. Didn't realise I had that many until I had the idea and then started putting the selection together. So I have to do it over four parts in order to make it more digestible for you as the viewer and to make it a little bit easier to navigate for me. I didn't want to be creating something that was, hours and hours and hours long. So it's become a necessity to do it in that way. So in terms of how I've broken up the albums into their respective batches, if you will, there's four batches. I've just done them in a relatively equal number to the other. So there's at least over 20 in each pile, so there'll be plenty for you to look at. They're predominantly in alphabetical order because it was just easier to do it that way. So I just consulted the old Discogs and went to the various parts of my shelving to collect the vinyl and put it together that way. So nothing too technical or scientific about it. But what I thought would be a little bit of fun is that within each pile, I will do you a top ranking of my favourite five. So, there'll be 20 odd to show you in general, and then I'll give you a top five because within that batch, they're the five albums that I feel are particularly special or ones which I just think really do cut the mustard. So, before I get started, I just wanted to talk a little bit about best ofs and greatest hits and that type of thing. So, for me, I find them really, really integral to a vinyl collector's journey. I think that they're a brilliant way of allowing people to get into an artist in a tentative way, to dip the toe into the water, if you will, and to find out a little bit more about that band or artist without maybe committing to a really what can often be a formidable back catalogue and you don't really know where to start. It's a good overview of an artist because it is literally serving up to you the best that they've got to offer. Greatest hits can be a little bit different because that just all depends on what makes it into the chart. But a best of, they do tend to be the creme de la creme of what that artist produced. So I do think they're really important. That's probably why I've got a lot of them because they, in a lot of cases, they've been my gateway into artists, and then I've gone on to discover them and buy their albums and get into them on a deeper level. So I just wanted to kind of, salute the format there, if you will, because they are important. So I'll just hold up the album. I'll show you the front. I'll show you the back. I'll mention a few tracks that I particularly enjoy off that album and then move on to the next one. It's pointless for me to keep saying that they're all brilliant compilations because they are, in my opinion. I've bought them because they have resonance to me and I've kept them in the collection over many years because I didn't want to part with them for whatever reason, probably because I enjoy them. So yeah, I'm not going to keep mentioning how brilliant they all are or anything, but I will give you a little bit of an overview as and when anything pops into my head. So without any further ado, I'll take a quick sip of water and then we'll get into it. I'm really looking forward to doing this. I think it's going to be fun. Okay, so first one we've got here is some power pop, and apologies there for that front cover because that is really, really not the most pleasant on the eye with all that static. And this is called Amplifier. That's the name of the album, and the band there, if you can see it, is called the DBs. So as I just mentioned, power pop acts from the early 80s. Primary songwriters were Peter Holsapple and Chris Stamey. And there's the back. So yeah, if you're into, your big star and that type of thing, really, really tuneful melodies, great harmonies, great playing, then check out the DBs. Some of my favourite songs on here, Big Brown Eyes is brilliant, Bad Reputation, Happenstance, which is off Repercussion, I believe, that was the second album. Big Brown Eyes there, yeah, Bad Reputation are off Stands for Decibels, the debut. Nothing is Wrong, all really good stuff, all killer no filler, which tends to be the case of the best of. So a good start there with the DBs, Amplifier. Okay, then we've got some hardcore Californian punk in the shape of the Dead Kennedys. This collection here is called Give Me Convenience or Give Me Death. Really, really striking front cover there. And there's the back. This one's a double vinyl. It's on orange vinyl. Yeah, incendiary stuff. So some classics here: Police Truck, California Uberales, Holiday in Cambodia, a really good version of I Fought the Law. It's a funny one here called Pull My Strings, where I think what's happened during that performance, it's a live recording. The guitarist East Bay Ray strings are broken, I think, and Jello Biafra, the singer's waiting for him to replace them. And he does this sort of impromptu ad-libby improv thing, which is really funny. And they start incorporating the chorus of My Sharona by the Knack into the into the performance, and they start singing My Payola, which always sticks in my head. It's really funny. Um, yeah, I mean, again, just great stuff. The Man with the Dogs as well. There's some rarer stuff on this one as well as some album tracks and singles. But yeah, really, really top one that. Okay, this is quite a beaten up copy. That's because it's been played so much, but I've got here the best of Deep Purple. There's the back. Classic British rock. Classic stuff. Richie Blackmore, one of my guitar heroes. Love Richie Blackmore. Wonderful, wonderful player. So yeah, favourites on here. All of them. I'll pick a few. Black Knight, Fireball, Highway Star, Smoke on the Water, Hush, Demon's Eye, Stormbringer, Speaking. If I want to rock out, put that one on. Okay, something a bit different now. From the 60s, broke through in 67, broke on through. That's The Doors. Weird Scenes Inside the Gold Mine. Always need to check the title of that. Beautiful artwork. Do love the colours on that. The back as well, stunning. So this is a double as well, double album. Great overview of The Doors. Starts off side one, track one with Break On Through, just as the debut album did from 1967. Got Strange Days on here, Peace, Frog, Blue Sunday together, which is from Morrison Hotel. These are some of my favourites. Spanish Caravan, I love. The End is my all-time favourite Doors song, which is the closing track on the debut album. LA Woman, 5 to 1. Then side 4, Riders on the Storm, When the Music's Over to finish. Great stuff. Okay, some songwriting par excellence here with Creedence Clearwater Revival, featuring John Fogerty, as it says there on the front, and this is Chronicle. So, I mean, wow, yeah, I mean these sort a lot of these songs have just entered into the music lexicon in terms of covers, and how ubiquitous they are and how frequently they've been covered, and inspiration on other artists. So yeah, very obvious choices here, but Bad Moon Rising, Green River. I put a Spell on You, great version on there. Susie Q, Proud Mary, of course, which is becoming a little bit overplayed for me, if I have to be honest, in more recent times. But it is still an undeniably powerful song, and it is superb. There's a great version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine on here as well, and I really love Have You Ever Seen the Rain. Hey, now we've got one of the greatest power trios in history with Cream, and this is Heavy Cream. I love the packaging on this one. They made it like a milk carton. So this bit here is like the lid. So when you pull it out, and all the materials inside, really, really lovely artwork on that. I just love the concept of it. The red, white, and blue is really striking, and the drawings, the sort of the cartoons on the front cover here are great as well. So yeah, Cream, wow, White Room, Badge, classics. I Feel Free, Born Under a Bad Sign, Crossroads is just spellbinding even to this day. I still love listening to Crossroads. We've got Take It Back, Sunshine of Your Love. Yeah, I mean, if you want to rock out again, so maybe a good day for me would be to put on the best of Deep Purple, followed by Heavy Cream, or the other way around. Can't really go wrong there with some really good rock. So very, very pleased to have that one in the collection. Hey, now we've got a little bit of, let's say a little bit, a lot of funk, pop, wonderful songwriting here, courtesy of Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards. For me, one of the greatest songwriting partnerships in the history of music, and I am of course talking about the mighty Chic. Great front cover there. So this is Chic's greatest hits. So when I don't want to rock out and I just want to dance about, then Chic goes on. So we've got Le Freak, I Want Your Love, Dance, 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 Everybody Dance, My Forbidden Lover, Good Times, and My Feet Keep Dancing. That's the whole track list there. That is all you need. It really is. If you want to get in the mood to go and party, a night on the town, a night in, whatever you're doing, you just feel like, put a smile on your face and have a really good old dance about and listen to some sterling guitar work, brilliant bass playing, everything about Chic. They're just brilliant. So Chic's greatest hits. Now this is a lot different. So this one's more of a rarities collection, this one, as opposed to a best of or a greatest hits or anything. As I said, I did kind of throw everything into doing this particular series here with the concept. So this here is a band from Middleton in North Manchester called the Chameleons, post-punk band, brilliant group. Principal songwriter is Mark Burgess. Artwork there by the guitarist Red Smithies, also a brilliant guitar player as well. So there's the front and the back. I may not have shown the back on a couple of the last ones, but I'll remember to keep doing that. So yeah, I mean, if you're not familiar with the Chameleons, then if you're into sort of really anthemic post-punk, reminiscent maybe of kind of early U2, I would say, before they started, hitting the arenas, just really big guitars, great big bass lines, crashing drums, big concepts that they're singing about, a lot of emotion, a lot of heart to what they do, then do check out the Chameleons. So this is all early stuff. So this is prior to their debut album, Script to the Bridge, which came out in 1983, which I believe is a masterpiece. So favourites on here, The Fan and the Bellows opening track is wonderful. Nostalgia, Less Than Human in Shreds, so they're all on side one. And then on side two, we get a 7-inch version of Nostalgia. And I also love on side two the closing track, Nathan's Phase. So really good stuff there with the Chameleons. Okay, so as you can see with this type of a concept for a video, we are flitting from genre to genre, artist to artist, country to country. It makes it fun, makes it a little bit different. It's almost like doing a bit of a potluck, like a lucky dip or something. So as you can tell as well, we're at the start of the alphabet here, given we've been looking at C's and A's and stuff and B's. So here's another one. History of the Birds. Love this band so much. Hugely important to me. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not going to keep saying it, but every track on here, they need to be heard at least once. So some of my favourites, of course, Mr. Tambourine Man, Turn, 8 Miles High, which was a precursor for space rock, psychedelic rock, still holds up incredibly well even today, and that was back in the 60s. So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, My Back Pages, which is a Dylan songs, plenty of Dylan stuff on here. Wasn't Born to Follow, which you'll love. That pops up on the Easy Rider soundtrack. Beautiful song on here called Chestnut Mare, which is one of Roger McGuinn's prettiest songs. That turned up on the 1970 Untitled album. But yeah, Hickory Wind, I mean, that's when Graham Parsons was there. It's just such a great collection, that, and you get 4 sides worth of quality material. So the Birds with the History of the Birds, and these guys are no slouches either. So here we've got retrospective, the best of Buffalo Springfield. So here we've got Stephen Stills, Neil Young, prior to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. So yeah, I mean, the opening track, For What It's Worth, it's got to be one of the best songs of all time, in my opinion. That's how highly I would rate it. I really would. It's been sampled, and it's just, again, just become part of the lexicon of music. Expecting to Fly's Wonderful Rock and Roll Woman, Broken Arrow. So it's got some really good Neil Young songs on here. Bluebird, which is a Stephen Stills track. Sit Down, I Think I Love You, Mr. Soul, Really, really good overview, and fond memories of buying that particular album. That was from a record store that I'd always wanted to visit. So when I finally got there, a famous place in Malvern, when I did find it, I was very, very happy with that. Oh, and there's the back. Sorry, the back there in case I didn't show it. Nice drawing there of the group. Really, really pretty artwork there on that. Keep excuse the ring light as well. Okay, then we've got one of the pioneers of the genre now, rock and roll. Got Buddy Holly with his greatest hits, as I said, showing everything. So they're going to be quite wide ranging within my collection. Gives you a good feel of the different things to listen to. So yeah, what can we say about Buddy that's not already been said? So I'll just stick to the, my favourite songs here. Got Peggy Sue, That'll Be the Day. I could just read all these out, to be honest. They're so good. Listen to Me Every Day, Oh Boy, Not Fade Away, Raining in My Heart, Side 2, Maybe Baby, Rave On, Think It Over, It's So Easy, It Doesn't Matter Anymore, True Love Ways, and then we finish with Peggy Sue Got Married. It's not bad, is it? I think I paid about £1 or something for that many, many years ago. So yeah, Buddy Holly, greatest hits. Okay, so this one here is actually really lucky to have not made it into my top five because it's so good. I mean, in a batch of goodness, this is really, really good stuff, but not quite top five. I mean, I'm looking at it now and I'm already thinking, yeah, that probably should have gone top five, that, but yeah, I'm just wondering, literally wondering in front of you whether to keep it in the top five or not. Now that I'm thinking it through. No, I'm going to stick. I'm going to stick to the original choice. So keep you all in suspense there a little bit longer with that, the tension building. Okay, so yeah, the one that I mean it really should be in my top five this as well. But we've got Brian Ferry and Roxy Music with Street Life, 20 great hits. I've lost count of the amount of times I've played this. So this really was my introduction into Roxy Music. Not so much Brian Ferry stuff. I mean, I like the Brian Ferry stuff on here, but for Roxy, it was like, yeah, this was what I needed. And then I did. I went back and I bought all of the Roxy Music albums, but this was the first one. This was the overview that I needed. Virginia Plain just blew my socks off. It still does whenever I hear that. But again, Do the Strand is on here. These Foolish Things is really, really nice. Sign of the Times. You've got the later period stuff, Dance Away, Angel Eyes, Same Old Scene. More Than This is on here. Avalon, Slave to Love. There's a cover of Jealous Guy on there. Love is the Drug. A version of Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Let's Stick Together. Yeah, really, really great album that. Very, very pleased to have that. And it's been very well played over the years as well. Superb overview of one of Britain's best art rock bands. Covers all that experimental stuff at the beginning, then goes right through to the smoother, more commercial stuff, but still exemplary songwriting. So with it being a gatefold as well, I'll just give you a quick look at the gatefold as well, just while it's not in its sleeve. There you go. You can see all that. Still getting used to the ring light. There we go. So that was Brian Ferry and Roxy there. Okay, so now we've got some New York New Wave, courtesy of Debbie Harry & Co. Best of Blondie. This is another best of that come back to a lot. Really, really cool front cover as well. They always had such good covers, Blondie, I felt. Just really interesting concepts and just, the way that they're framed and, that just the way that they're always there, like just in support of Debbie Harry. I just really like, and they never look like they're taking themselves too seriously either, which I think is really good. So yeah, on here we've got Heart of Glass, obviously Denise, Tide is High, The Flesh, Sunday Girl, Dreaming, which is absolutely brilliant. The drumming on that by Clem Burke is just out of this world. Hanging on the Telephone, which was originally done by The Nerves, so it's like a bit of like a power pop classic. So Blondie made that into an iconic song. Then we've got Rapture, Picture This, Union City Blue, I'm Always Touched by Your Presence Dear, Call Me, theme from American Gigolo as it's rendered here, produced by Giorgio Moroder, Atomic, wonderful, wonderful song, and then finishes with Ripper to Shreds. So yeah, if you want all the great Blondie stuff in one package, best of Blondie. Right, and now we're back to Britain with pretty much, I suppose, in a lot of ways, the birth of metal, heavy rock, hard rock, pioneers of the genre. We've got Black Sabbath with their greatest hits. And that's a cover, isn't it? So this is Black Sabbath's greatest hits here. So favourites, Paranoid, obviously. Um, a rite of passage for any aspiring guitar player to try and nail that opening riff there with that. Always sounds lovely, and it's nice when you can you finally can play it. Sweet Leaf, War Pigs, Iron Man, Changes. Yes, again, what can you say about it? Ozzy and Co. Great, great songs. Greatest hits. A very fine one at that as well. Black Sabbath. So from Black Sabbath, go to something completely different. So this chap was extremely well respected, is extremely respected to this day within the folk genre. And this chap was in a band called Pentangle, and his name is, and I'm going to pronounce it the way that he pronounced it, which is Bert Jansch. So I am aware that I think technically his surname should be pronounced Jansch, but Bert himself always pronounced it with the hard J, so that is how I'm choosing to pronounce it. So this is a lovely collection of Bert's work called Just a Simple Soul, and it explains here on the hype sticker. So from his 1965 iconic debut album, which changed folk music, Bert's peerless musicality, songwriting, and interpretation of traditional song has held generation after generation spellbound and inspired musicians in all genres. This is the first collection of Bert's entire solo career, with insightful liner notes by Bernard Butler of Suede, who compiled this selection with the Bert Jansch estate. So, I mean, the fact that Bernard Butler was involved in this as well, I'm not going to lie, that was a huge draw for me because I am a massive, massive Bernard Butler fan. But it was actually Johnny Marr that got me initially into Bert Jansch, because he spoke about him a lot, and I'd read like pieces in guitar magazines and that type of thing about what an influence he'd been on Johnny Marr. So for somebody of my age and my generation, if you've got Bernard Butler talking about him and then somebody like Johnny Marr as well, then you are going to have to go and have a look and go and have a listen, which is precisely what I did. So yeah, this is a really lovely album. Great sort of tone to it, a great feel. Pretty laid back in places, but there are some really devastating songs on here as well. I mean, Needle of Death, which is the third track on side A, is it's just heartbreaking. It really, really is. It needs to be heard to be believed in terms of just the musicality of it, the lyrics. It's a really, really striking song, that, and one that I really do. I feel that one whenever I hear it. I really actually like a lot of the earlier stuff here. Strolling Down the Highway, Angie, It Don't Bother Me. These are side A. But then as we go further through, Poison, I really enjoy Rosemary Lane. And then on side C and D, we've got Carnival there on side D, Daybreak on C, Fresh as a Sweet Sunday Morning as well. So there are some really, really pretty stuff. He's a phenomenal guitarist, I have to say that, and I really do like his voice a lot as well. So that is Bert Jansch with Just a Simple Soul. Okay, now these chaps know how to write a song, that's putting it mildly. And this is from a very specific era in this band's lifetime. But here we have the best of the Bee Gees. Look how young they look there. So young looking, aren't they there? Yeah, what I'm doing as well with a lot of them now is I'm turning them more over to the rear if there's photographs and stuff that I think would be of specific interest to you to see. Some of them is it's just text and that type of thing. So and track listings. So I'm not forgetting on purpose or anything to do that. So yeah, the Bee Gees in the early days, brilliant stuff as it was throughout the career. Before they entered the disco realm and nailed that. And yeah, I mean the Gibbs, wonderful talents. So favourites here, got to get a message to you. Words, always love hearing that. I started a joke, which was later covered by Faith No More, with Mike Patton doing well, as he always does, an incredible vocal performance on that. But I started a joke is wonderful. Massachusetts, of course, To Love Somebody, and New York mining disaster 1941 closes this particular best of out. So yeah, I played this one a lot. Always enjoy it. Bee Gees best of. Right. So now we're getting into some iconic stuff here. Putting it mildly again. How many times have I said putting it mildly? Well, yeah. So the artwork on this one, I can't stand it. I'm not gonna lie. But it is, and I did say I'd show everything in the collection. It is the Beatles with rock and roll music. I've never ever liked that artwork at all. I don't know what the idea was with that. I mean, it's pretty good in terms of being able to show you, where to put your thumbs when you're looking at it. You can place them across like that. But yeah, I mean, it's not great, is it? In my opinion, look at Ringo there at the back, and there's the back with the mop tops there, the Fab Four. But there's some really good stuff on it. I'll show you the inside as well. I quite like the inside. Got the thumbs there again as well to help you out. But I do I like the I like that a little bit more actually. Just with the whole sort of 50s thing going on, and yeah, that actually works for me in terms of the overall vibe of it. But I was never a fan of that cover. I think I've made that clear now, so I'll stop saying it. Um, but yeah, it's the Beatles for a start, so it's pretty good. Unless you're not a Beatles fan, of course. If you want to tell me in the comments if you rate the Beatles or not, I certainly do. So yeah, I mean, this is brilliant for the rockers. This is not, this isn't Penny Lane or the long and winding road or Across the Universe or Let It Be. This is the stuff, this is Long Tall Sally we're talking about, and I Want to Be Your Man. Saw Her Standing There, Twisting Shouts. These are my favourites. Rock and roll music, Roll Over Beethoven, Slow Down, Dizzy Miss Lizzie. Drive My Car's on here as well. Revolution's on it. Yeah, and then towards side four, because it's a double, we get into the likes of, so we've got on there Back in the USSR, Helter Skelter, Taxman, Got to Get You Into My Life, Hey Bulldog Birthday, and Get Back. So yeah, I mean, I like putting it on every now and again. I mean, there are other, as we know, there are other there's plenty of other Beatles collections out there, but every now and again, if I would just want to hear that earlier stuff, then I pop it on. I mean, it's still in the collection, so I've kept hold of it. I enjoy it. So there's that one. Rock and roll music by the Beatles. Okay, so change the order of them there for chronology. So again, more Beatles here. The are collections, remember, that we're doing. So we've got the Red Album, as it's known, Beatles 1962 to 1966. I think everybody's pretty familiar with that cover by now. And there's the back. And then show you the gatefold as well. It's got to be one of the most famous gatefolds in history, I would think now. Great photograph. Really is a great photograph. Okay, so it's an interesting one because a lot of this depends on, if you've got a preferred era of the Beatles. Some people prefer the latter stuff. Some people prefer the earlier stuff. I mean, my favourite all-time Beatles song is "Strawberry Fields Forever," but I love all all facets of the Beatles. I loved them all the way through in terms of what they produced and their importance. But I'm having a smile to myself because I always have a bit of a gentle debate, should we say, with one of my mates about the best album that came out in 1967, and I don't think it was Sergeant Pepper. So I reserve that particular accolade for the Velvet Underground and Nico, but that doesn't mean that I still don't love the Beatles. So Martin, if you're watching at any point, we can agree to disagree on what was the best album of '67. But I'm going off track. It's just that whenever I look at anything to do with the Beatles, I always think about that little chat that we have every now and again. So yeah, favourites off here, other than saying everything: Hard Day's Night, Ticket to Ride, Yesterday, Help, Gotta Hide Your Love Away, We Can Work It Out, Day Tripper, Norwegian Wood, Nowhere Man, Paperback Writer, Eleanor Rigby. Yeah, genius songwriting, and that's only the first part, isn't it? So we've got the Red Album there, and then we've got, as it's known, the Blue Album, 1967 to 1970. That's the back. See the same photograph. Favourites on here: Strawberry Fields, as I've already mentioned, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, With a Little Help from My Friends. Love all the cuts off Sergeant Pepper. And then we've got Hello Goodbye, I love that, Phil on the Hill, I'm the Walrus, Hey Jude, which, even though, yeah, again, getting overplayed, probably entering the Proud Mary territory, but I still love it. My wife can't stand it, but um, especially when it's getting played live and it goes on for, forever, but I still love it. Back in the USSR, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Get Back, Ballad of John and Yoko, Here Comes the Sun, Come Together, Something, Let It Be. Yeah, the whole shebang. Whole shebang. It's essential, both of them. Okay, now this is one that I really enjoy. So this is called What Is Beat? And it's by The Beat. It's the best of the Beat, or as they were known in the US, they were called the English Beat. So yeah, this is superb. And I don't think I've said that too many times, have I? So I can say it for this one. Yeah, love it. Just great. If you're in the mood for a bit of sort of new wave ska type music, really great rhythms on it. Lovely guitar playing. Great vocals by Dave Wakeling. It's just a really enjoyable best of. Wonderful version. To open it up with Smokey Robinson's "Tears of a Clown." "Mirror in the Bathroom" is just an absolute classic. I never ever get tired of hearing that. "Twist and Crawl." But my favourite on here is "Save It for Later," which I'm trying to remember. I think the first time I ever heard it, I'm going to go out on a limb here now, because I didn't prepare my notes, but it was the Farrelly Brothers. I think it was in, I'm going to say, it was either Kingpin or Dumb and Dumber. It was in one of those, and as soon in the background, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, I have to find out who that's by. I just had to find out. The chorus of it was so infectious. I just loved the sound of it, everything about it. And then when I hunted it down, and then I discovered it was the Beat. I was already aware of the Beat through old Top of the Pops performances and things, like "Tears of a Clown," and I'd heard things by them, "Mirror in the Bathroom," but I didn't realise that "Save It for Later" was also them. It sounds a little bit different to those sort of more ska orientated tracks. It's a little bit more new wavy, but it's just a brilliant song. I love it. "Save It for Later." So I thank Film for introducing me to that particular song. I also really like on side two, "Best Friend," and there's a really great version of here that was made famous by Andy Williams, Can't Get Used to Losing You is on here as well. And this, I believe, has got, I think it's got a free, it's got a free album with it, but of extended remixes. But as you can see, my sticker there, I bought it like that. It's not in good condition, that is it. So unfortunately, the hype stickers had it, but it still plays really well, and very happy to have it in the collection. So that's What Is Beat by The Beat. Okay, got some really classic stuff here now. So we've got the California Sunshine Pop, Golden Harmonies of the Beach Boys. So this has to be one of the most iconic best ofs in history as well. 20 Golden Greats by the Beach Boys. Yeah, I mean, when summertime comes around, this gets put on the turntable, so everything on it is wonderful. But let me choose a few. Surfing USA, Never Get Tired of That, Help Me Rhonda, California Girls, Barbara Ann, Sloop John B. God Only Knows is on here, of course. Wouldn't It Be Nice, Good Vibrations, Then I Kissed Her. These are all some of my favourites. Oh, Don't Worry Baby as well. Can't miss Don't Worry Baby out. That's got a beautiful tune to it. I Can Hear Music. Yeah, that is a really superb collection. So the Beach Boys, if you're looking for a starting point, you cannot go wrong with that. I mean, you can't go wrong with a great many of their albums either. But if you want to just get all of that really good stuff in one go, in one place, you just want to fork out for one album. Pet Sounds aside, of course. I mean, Pet Sounds is essential, but this is a really good one to have in the collection. The Beach Boys 20 Golden Greats. Okay, so we've only got just two more left before I get into my little top five. So we've gone from the Beach Boys, now we're going from the light, now we're going to something pretty dark. We've got Bauhaus here. So this is a collection from 1979 to 1983. So this is your classic sort of gothic, dark wave, I suppose, elements in here, post-punk, some new wave in there as well. Really great group. Bauhaus, superb. Love they retained the original. I believe that was the original logo, yeah, for the school in Germany. So see what's inside in the middle here. Yeah, I've just got some photographs there. So yeah, it's yeah. Just make sure that I hold it up correctly. You can see how serious they are there, and there is some seriously good music to be found here on in these grooves. So favourites on here, In the Flat Field, Dark Entries, Bela Lugosi's Dead is a classic of the genre. Some great covers on here, including Telegram Sam and Ziggy Stardust. She's in Parties is wonderful. Yeah, it's really good all the way through. Kick in the Eye as well. They're just some of my favourites off it. So probably don't play this one enough, to be honest. It's got a lovely embossed sleeve to it with the track listings and the title and everything on there. Yeah, I mean, I played it more when I was younger, I would say, and I really did enjoy it when I was going through more of a kind of a goth post-punky type phase. But I mean, I would never part with this one. I mean, if I ever am in the mood to listen to this type of stuff, then this is a really good record to be able to go and grab and just to turn the lights down and just chill out to that. So yeah, Bauhaus is brilliant stuff. Really good at what they do. Pete Murphy, it was a great career, so I'm really pleased to have that. Okay, and then the last one before the five that we get into is Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits. And what a brilliant what a brilliant design this is for the sleeve art. You know, you've got all the band there. There's Mr. Cooper there. Yeah, it is, Mr. Cooper. And then you've got some famous faces on here, Groucho Marx, and I'm not going to go through them all, but yeah, Humphrey Bogart is on the back. But it is definitely worth just looking at the art alone here. Yeah, this is a really good greatest hits. So favorites Under My Wheels, which need to find my favorite group ever, the Manic Street Preachers, because the Manics did a cover of Under My Wheels, which was on Motorcycle Emptiness. It was on side B. I've got the picture disc of Motorcycle Emptiness with the Edvard Monk painting on the front, and then or on one side at least, and then it's the silver side on the other with the picture of the band. But there's a cover of Under My Wheels on that, and the Manics, through covering that song, was my introduction. Sorry, to into Alice Cooper's world. I mean, the Manics, for a lot of reasons, are my favourite band because of how many different bands they did introduce me to through covers. Obviously, I want to keep on Alice Cooper here, but literature, film, all kinds. So that was just another example of the Manics opening me up to something new. I knew the likes of Schools Out and things like that before I'd heard Under My Wheels, but when I gave Alice Cooper a chance and started to listen more, and then I got my hands on this greatest hits, it just sort of opened up more and more in terms of, yeah, this is a really sort of special group and talented, and good songs, and yeah, but sometimes you just need that introduction. So Under My Wheels was the cover, was the introduction. We got Schools Out on here as well. Elected, I enjoy that one. No More Mr. Nice Guy, Billion Dollar Baby. So some really good stuff. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, part of the reason I wanted to own it was just because I thought the artwork was so good as well. So yeah, I really love that. Okay, so we are now up to the top five ranking for part one of my series here of looking at all my best ofs and greatest hits, etc. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. So we'll get into the five now. So at number five, I've got the best of Dinosaur Jr., Ear Bleeding Country. This is on white vinyl. Noisy, brilliant slacker, alt, indie, guitar rock, whatever you want to call it. The most laconic vocals in music history by Jay Mascis. He's just the way he sings. He just that was a terrible impression, but he just he's got a distinctive voice. It works brilliantly, but you can't mistake it. He's a phenomenal guitar player, brilliant, and Murph drums, Lou Barlow bass, great band. That came out of Massachusetts in the 1980s. So yeah, I mean, stuff on here that I love. Freak Scene, it's worth it just for Freak Scene alone. As far as I'm concerned, that is easily one of my favourite songs ever, and I would like ever. It's that good. Repulsion, I love on side A, track one. There is a cover of Just Like Heaven by The Cure that needs to be heard to be believed. So I'll leave it at that. That's quite something. There's The Wagon, which is a great song, and then a little bit further on, we've got Start Chopping on side C. Then there's a great song on there called Feel the Pain, which I think's probably had a bit more exposure in modern times because I'm pretty sure that it appeared on one of these Guitar Hero games. I've got memories, I'm pretty sure, of my nephew playing that game years ago, and Feel the Pain being one of the songs on there that you could play. So that would have been some exposure for the group at that point. And then you've got some J Mascis solo stuff with his band The Fog. So there's Where'd You Go and Take a Run at the Sun, which is credited just to him. But yeah, this is number five because when I'm in the mood, again, if I'm not listening to the classic stuff, Deep Purple, etc., then and I want some really full on ear bleeding, as it says here, ear bleeding country. If I really want to go for it, and crank it up, and play air guitar and sometimes play my actual guitar if the noise isn't too overbearing, then this is a go-to album. It is a superb introduction to Dinosaur Jr. because it does gather, I feel, a lot of the best tracks from all the different albums as a best of should. It's a good example of what a best of should do. It's not. Yeah, actually, it is. No, it is in the main. Yes, it is. It looks, just looking through it. It looks, yeah, it's chronological. I think that one. So, but a really really good album. If you're interested in them, give them a try. Maybe if you want to start off with the song, just maybe try out Freak Scene, see if that fits you, if you enjoy it, and then maybe go from there. So, Ear Bleeding Country, Dinosaur Jr. Okay, so really, really fine margins here between the ones that are left. I'm just checking that, yeah, there are four there. These are all wonderful. I come back to these time and time again. I really, really do. I mean, I listen to all of these fairly regularly, but, excuse me, but it's rocking a little bit there. But for the five, these are the ones that are just that little bit higher. And it'll be the same in the other batches that I do as well. So at number 4, we've got The Light at the End of the Tunnel by The Damned. And this for me is really, really how you do, a best of, a greatest hits, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's just, this is not chronological, by the way. That this flits from song to song and goes all over the place, but there is just such a brilliant cohesion to it. And what I love is that it just shows off all of the different sides of such a wonderful, wonderful band. So good. I mentioned it in my 1982 video, which, if you fancy taking a look at that on the channel, if you haven't done so already, I'd appreciate it if you did. So I talk about an album on there, obviously from 1982, so I've kind of inadvertently provided a spoiler, but yeah, I mean, when I talk about Strawberries in that video, and I talk about how the Damned were able to turn the hands to so many different types of music, do it so well, a lot like The Cure and other groups like that. They came out in the punk scene, obviously, but they can just do whatever they like. If they want to do psych, they've done power pop, they've done just straight up, you know rock and roll. They've done like sort of gothic stuff. But yeah, favourites on here. I'll just show you the back first, actually, as well. Some really really cool photographs there. Yeah, with Dinosaur Jr., it was just a continuation of you got the cyclist there in the front, and then you've got there you go, on the back, the drinks there. So yeah, on this one, I Feel Alright, which is, is a Stooges number, renamed. And then we've got Grimly Fiendish, I really enjoy, which is the Bad Trip mix. Stranger on the Town, yeah, neat. That bass line opens up. Damned. Alone Again, or wonderful cover there by a song by Love, Arthur Lee's band. Smash It Up, awesome. Hearts 1 and 2, awesome. Ignite, Just Can't Be Happy Today, Problem Child, New Rose, Love Song, Feel the Pain. Eloise, the Barry Ryan song, great version of that. And then it finishes off with the kind of the galloping sort of cowboy western spaghetti type feel of Shadow of Love. So yeah, I mean, this was easily, I mean, at one point this may even have been higher than number 4 within this batch, but I had to really consider the others that were in competition. But superb best of that. The Light at the End of the Tunnel by The Damned. Oh, this is tough now. Yeah, to be honest, these could all be number 1, really. So let's go anyway with what I've got. I'm going to stick to it. So number 3, we've got Buzzcocks, Singles Going Steady. And I just love the pun of that title. It is so clever, in terms of talking about going steady, which obviously if you're going steady, you're not single. And then the fact that it's singles on the album, and just the full thing. And then the fact that because it's single after single on the album that it's going steady, that title it just makes me smile so much just because it's so clever. And a lot like the Buzzcocks themselves, very clever group, brilliant at what they did. One of Manchester's finest. I mean, for a lot of people, they would say easily amongst the greats that have ever come out of the city. Wonderful, wonderful songwriter in Pete Shelley. Great singing voice, but just a great, great band as well, backing him up. John Marr drums is just an absolute powerhouse. So yeah, favourites on here. I mean, what do I get? I don't mind. I mean all of them. Ever Fall in Love, Promises. Everybody's Happy Nowadays. You've got Steve Diggle track, Harmony in My Head, which I really, really enjoy. And then side two, Whatever Happened to, Noise and Noise, Lipstick, Why Can't I Touch It, Something's Gone Wrong Again. This is just song after song after song, rapid fire, doesn't let up. It's just relentless in the most brilliant way. It's infectious, it's powerful, it makes you want to bop along. It's a joyful album in a lot of ways, even though some of the subject matter at times is, there's a lot of unrequited love in there, and there's a lot of bitter lyrics in there as well. Certainly song like Oh Shit, for instance, but it's just infectious in terms of, those buzzsaw guitars and all the little, the sort of call and response vocals at times, and the harmonies. And yeah, it's just stellar. It really is. And definitely within this batch, I mean, it's in the top three, but many would argue it's just one of the best, greatest hits, best ofs, full stop. So Buzzcocks, singles going steady. It's just got two more now. So let's get prepared. So yeah, number two, this is quite a beat up copy, but it plays really well. We've got The Story of the Clash, Volume 1. So that's a really good, now that is worth showing because that is such a cool photograph of the band there. Love that photo. Strummer, Cinnamon, Top Hayden, Hedden, and Mick Jones. So there we go. So yeah, Volume 1. I don't think there was ever a Volume 2, but to be honest, I mean, you don't need one because, I mean, at this state, I mean, everything is compiled here that you would need for the Clash. So again, this is not in chronological order, so it does flit around, and I do think that is very much to its benefit because it just plays in a really powerful sequence. I think with the Clash, because they had so many different musical styles, in terms of, I mean, that they would mix it up from album to album. I mean, even on London Calling, they must cover about 4 or 5, 6 different genres just within that album alone. So if you're putting together an overview of their entire output, pretty much, then you do need to consider the track listing, because I suppose they could have just done it chronologically and had all of the straight ahead punk stuff and maybe shown the progression of the band, which would have been interesting to have done that. But I really like the fact that it's all mixed up. So yeah, favourites on here: Rock the Casbah, Should I Stay, Should I Go on side A, I would say. Side B, I love Clamp Down, Train in Vain. So again, Clamp Down, Train in Vain, that's going back to my Mannix days with those. I Fought the Law, just an amazing version of that. I would say it's the version. So I love those on side B. C, we've got White Man in Hammersmith Palais. London's Burning, this is actually a really good side. So this might give you a bit of an idea as to what era of the Clash I love. London's Burning, Janie Jones, Tommy Gunn, Complete Control, Capital Radio, White Riot, and Career Opportunities. Side C, amazing stuff. But then on D, we have got Clash City Rockers, which I absolutely love. Safe European Home as well, love that one. London Calling, iconic. Spanish Bombs, English Civil War, Police and Thieves. So That is an absolutely essential. I mean, if you're a Clash fan, it's essential. It's having them all together. But if you're looking to get into the Clash and you just want to get started, get the story of the Clash. Okay, so my number one of this batch of my best ofs, with parts 2, 3, and 4 to come. And I would say that if it had gone in any of the batches, I think it would have come out on top because I love it so much. Always have, always will. Is Off the Bone by the Cramps. And what a wonderful, wonderful front cover that is. So I absolutely love it. So we've got single Lux interior here, guitarist Poison Ivy here. We've got the guitarist Brian Gregory popping up over here. Got the other guitarist Kid Congo Powers here. And then we've got the drummer Nick Knox here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double check whether, I'm pretty sure it's still in here, the 3D glasses that came with this original version of the album. So it was on Illegal Records. So I'm just going to check, excuse me, whether they are still in here. Because if they are, I would like to show them off. Yeah, there we go. So there's the original, the glasses there that were in my copy when I acquired it. And looking at that cover there with the old 3D glasses on gave me a lot of fun. It works as well. It's it's really, really well done. So I've got the record out there. So it's on Illegal Records. I've played this so many times. Yeah, the Cramps, superb, superb stuff. So rather than put it all away at the moment, put that to the side. So yeah, favourite tracks, all of them, but I'll just pick a few out. So Human Fly, opening track, brilliant. The Way I Walk, Surfing Bird, wonderful version of that, which was done by the Trashmen. Garbage Man, we've got a version of Fever on here as well, which is excellent. Goo Goo Muck, really enjoy that one with the that little guitar part in it, which is really infectious. The Crusher is excellent. It's got a real menace to it, that one, the Crusher. Save It's great towards the end. New Kind of Kick. Such an influential band, the Cramps, as well. I mean, a lot of the bands that I'm into have paid tribute to the Cramps or have said that they're directly influenced by them in some way. Oh yeah, Domino as well. Yeah, all of them. Lonesome Town. It is such a great album, and again, I love how they're all kind of just mixed together. The way that it's been done, it plays like a coherent album, even though it is a compilation. That's an interesting, yeah. There's some production work on it here by Alex Chilton, who was originally in the Box Tops, and then he went on to be a founding member of Big Star, the Power Pop Pioneers, with Chris Bell. So Alex Chilton has done some production work on here. So I'll just show you that cover again, just because it's so good. It's just so spooky, that, isn't it? And that iconic typeface which the Cramps kept throughout the career there. That really sort of, B-movie style rendering there of the name. Always really enjoyed that. And so the front and back, you can use the 3D glasses on, so always really enjoyable. And that is my number one for part one of my journey into my best ofs and greatest hits collections and that sort of thing. So I do hope that you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing that. I found that to be a lot of fun. I'm already looking forward to recording part two. So I'll try and get to that as quickly as I can. And like I said then at the top of the video, that once my parts have all been done and uploaded, I think I'm going to go back to doing a couple more review requests that I've had through, because I'm looking forward to doing them, and I just don't want the people who have requested them to think I've forgotten. I certainly haven't at all. I'm just working through a few other ideas at the moment that I've had for the channel. So yeah, if you like what you saw today and you enjoyed it, then if you could please consider giving this video a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate that. That would mean a lot to me. And if you would like to continue to follow my work and maybe join me in taking refuge in records, then you can always choose to subscribe to the Vinyl Sanctuary. Again, I would hugely appreciate that. Still growing at the moment, only launched a couple of weeks ago, so still just continuing to find my feet and enjoy this process, but I am having a lot of fun doing it. I had a wonderful welcome for the vinyl community as well, so I really appreciate that. But yes, if you'd like to keep abreast of what I'm up to, when you subscribe, if you do, then you can click the notification bell as well, and that will let you know when I've got new videos landing. So yeah, thank you very much everybody for your time and attention. If there's any comments at all that you'd like to make on what I've talked about today, if you've got any favourite best ofs or greatest hits that you would like to share, then please pop them in the comments. I really do enjoy reading them, and I will respond to people as well. I always endeavour to do that. And until next time, when I've got part 2 ready to go, bye for now.